What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from ActingMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I'm doing a review of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. That's not right. How to Lose Friends and Alienate People? That's not right either. Why do we keep teaching people how to lose things? This is How to Lose a Popularity Contest. It's a Tubi original, I guess. I don't really know what distinguishes a Tubi original except for they claim it. They marked it. I have no idea. But Tubi is claiming this to be a Tubi original. And its two stars are that girl from Ginny and Georgia and that guy who's on TikTok. So I have a feeling the people who your kids will know who these people are. Your kids will be like, "Oh my god." That's kind of the point. Why are old people reviewing teen? Because we had them. Because this is exactly like everything I've been watching my entire life. That's why. Nothing new here. There is nothing. These are the droids that I've been looking for. I'm sorry, you cannot Jedi mind trick me into believing that this is something new and fresh. So, that's the best thing I could say about this movie, is that there's nothing that feels low budget, low class, Tubi-ish, like you've tripped and fallen into the third circle of hell, and you've been lost on the Tubi circuit, and you're about to watch something that stars like Cuba Gooding Jr. and Steven Seagal, and you weren't even sure those two people were still alive, let alone making movies. Yeah, it's not one of those. This movie just has people that I think Hollywood deemed not marketable enough to release theatrically, but also there was like a streaming service that was like wildly interested in picking this up to like make it as a Netflix original, you know? So it ended up being a Tubi original. And it's if you like teen movies, there's no real reason to not like this, except for I do need to spoil the end of it, sort of. Because there's kind of we get into a little bit of that problem. It's one of those movies where you have two characters who are polar opposites who have to come together and then they learn from each other and then suddenly they make each other better people, and of course it's high school, so it's very like She's All That, you know. They realize that they have more in common than maybe they thought they did, and whatever. um so at the beginning of, well, before the beginning, I mean, there's a whole big thing here about we learn Max, who I actually forgot what her real name is. And that's her derogatory nickname, which comes from something else. But she makes the Max thing hit so hard that you're like, well, I'll remember that. And the next morning when I'm doing this review, I'm like, yep, it's Max. Yep, I do remember it. So, um, and so she's at the lower end of the popularity totem pole, from being bullied when she was younger, and now she has this nickname that stuck with her. And I won't ruin the joke. It's if it is a joke, I don't really think it's that funny, but somebody might. Um, so she has a boyfriend, and I guess some other friends were down there with them. I don't know. Uh, a lot of people in this film just seem to be really quiet. She has a dad. Honestly, this is one of those films too where they don't know how to cast parents or teachers or anything like that. So some of the adults are a little bit sketchy, but the kids are fine. So dad's a little bit goofy. He's a little bit whatever that is. Remember that thing that like in Liar Liar Jim Carrey does when he's talking about Carrie Elwes' character? He's a little bit yeah, that's what this dude is. Um so she her boyfriend wants to run for city student council president. I don't know. I forget high school. I don't actually. I remember it every day of my life. Um, and she doesn't think he should run because again they're not popular, and popular kids win that kind of thing, and not smart kids, not the you know what I'm saying, like not the people who should. It's usually the popular kids, which is I guess kind of true. but not at the same time. At least when I was in school, it was the popular slash smart kids because the popular jocks had better things to do with her time, which is what she kind of finds out when she goes and she tries to she's all that her way a candidate who she thinks will win, but he's not really that interested into it because he's again, it's not his thing. So Um, yeah, that's actually, I would say, an accurate representation. Her idea of it initially is that people like him are the ones that win elections, but people like him are the ones who don't want to run for elections. So, yeah, when I was in student council, it was kids who were popular, but not for sports. You know, the athletes had other things to do with their time. So, um, for the most part, I mean, there might have been like one or two scattered, but uh, they end up making a pact even though they have nothing in common, and he's sort of partially responsible, if not wholly responsible, for the nickname that she has now. And he has recently been dumped by his girlfriend, who sounded like she was 40. Just heads up on that one, little lady. I don't know how old you are, but you sounded like you were his mom, or like he was dating a teacher. I don't know what's happening, but your voice is aging rapidly. This is coming from a blind person who cannot see what you look like. If you just want the like a God's honest truth analyzation of your voice, you do not sound remotely like a teenager. Not even close. I thought he was dating a teacher. So, um, oh God. Anyway, so Chase's character is a baseball player, and he's a little sad that his girlfriend dumped him, and she meets him, and because after she reminds her boyfriend that they're losers, and he doesn't like that too much, so he breaks up with her. So they're both broken up with, and I don't know, they meet at a bar. I don't know where kids meet. So, uh, they meet somewhere and they talk about it and they come up with this plan, but he's not really interested in it. She tries to rally him to it. So she ends up having to write down his name anyway and force him to run for student council. And then she jumps on his campaign and helps to make him better and says that she believes in him. But when they initially pitch this idea, it's so that they can both get back at their exes. Like she says that she can help him get his ex back by proving to her that he's everything that she didn't think that he was, and that also if he wins the election, that she'll prove to her boyfriend that she was right, that the popular kids win. So she's behind the scenes working the whole thing. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about all of that is because they have this understanding at the beginning, even though he doesn't initially say yes to it and she has to kind of force him into it. Like, the whole concoction of this thing is, wouldn't it be nice if we got back at our exes? So when we get later into the movie and he gets like serious, he has his like uh I'm gonna keep referencing She's All That. I'm sorry for kids who stumbled into this video. But if you haven't seen She's All That, please do. It's a classic. And if you're an adult and you're like, did he just use the word classic for She's All That? It's like, yeah. I mean, like I can actually still remember parts of that movie. I mean, I've seen it like 20 times, but so I'm gonna reference the scene where Rachel Lee Cook goes, "Am I a bet? Am I a fucking bet?" Oh, who thought we'd be quoting She's All That this year? So he has one of those moments, and it's after his girlfriend clues him in on something, and he kind of like morosely like walks up to Sarah's character. I forget what their names are. Max, and he's like, I don't want to hear it. I thought you believed in me. I thought you actually believed in me. I'm like, wait, what? I Were you not clear from the beginning what this was all for? Oh, I guess he's been hit in the head with a couple of wild pitches or line drives. He's already got CTE. I don't know, man. I mean, that just didn't work for me because at the beginning of the film, they were conspiring to get back at their exes, and his The whole pitch was to get back to at his with his girlfriend, and I guess because he started to like Max, like, he's like, "Oh, wait a minute, is she using me?" It's like, "Yeah, she was. What are you talking about?" This was the movie. So, I couldn't take his little, burst of indignancy there, but other than that, I like the movie. I just thought that didn't work at all. I was like, did the writers forget that there is a scene at the beginning where they openly discuss the fact that she's using him for her own personal gain? Did that happen? Did he forget? So, it's perfectly fine. If you've ever seen a teen movie before, there's nothing that's different, wildly different about it. It's kind of cute. It's all the actors here, except for the one who I thought was a teacher, are all lovely people. Um, I enjoyed it. It's cute. It's whatever. Uh, Sarah has a lot of personality. Chase, it's his first film. He's a TikTok star. I'm sure he's been told all he needs to do is be hot, and I'm sure he is, and that's what he is. The film doesn't have audio description because Tubi doesn't usually roll like that. But yeah, I'm sure. Not that I would be thinking about that anyway, but I'm sure that's the whole driving force. But I'm sure that's why he's a TikTok star. I don't think they cast an unattractive TikTok star as a lead in a movie to play the popular baseball jock. I'm sure for his generation, the girls are all like, "Oh my god, uh." So the Paul Walker of his generation, not very talented, but man, very pretty to look at. Um, yeah, I know I just besmirched Paul Walker's career, but honestly, honestly, his acting though, like I can't think of a single Paul Walker performance where I was like, wow, wow, wow. I can think of some times where he was really well cast. Pleasantville would be one of them, which lean into his strengths, but no, his strong actor, no. So, should you see this? It doesn't have audio description. I feel like I've seen like 1,000 teen movies, so I was able to follow it. It's not like ridiculously insanely smart. There was a couple times where yes, the lack of accessibility does make the scene harder to understand, which affects the overall enjoyment of the movie. I'm not gonna say it's a great movie to follow, but I do like teen comedies, and there's something that's sort of been happening with teen comedies where it feels like the film is either affected largely by, and God, I hate to, uh, either the lack, the, how do I put this? It seems like they don't know how to make these movies anymore because they don't know how to make them without making them raunchy and or making them so that they feel like that they're a movement for social change, where every character is trans, non-binary, whatever in the film, and then that suddenly has become the film. This is just kind of like a standard teen movie. Like they would have, like somebody unearthed it from the 90s or 80s or whatever and made it a film. Like they could have taken this script and plucked, I don't know, any one of the Brat Packers into it, and it would have been fine in the 80s. They could have taken Freddie Prinze Jr. and uh, I don't know, Sarah Michelle Gellar and put him in this. It just it's it's just not one of those films where you go, oh, well, I need this to be raunchy, or oh, where's the representation? It's I didn't notice that it was missing, and I noticed it afterwards. I was like, wait a minute, there was nobody who was, and it's oddly refreshing because it's a throwback, because we don't usually get this kind of film. I'm not advocating for a lack of representation ever, but it is very simple in what it is, and it's just asking to do this very simple thing and present you with an old school plot. and the old ways of making teen movies, and somehow it's doing it in a way where it doesn't need to fuck a pie. You know, like people are like, why aren't the teen movies of yore like Porky's and American Pie? And it's like they weren't all like that. So there are plenty of movies. So, and I didn't feel like also that the absence of representation necessarily meant that it was hurting the film. It's not nearly like when you go back and watch 16 Candles. Is that it? Is that the one where you keep hearing the gong every time long, long every time he comes in the room, there's always this like Asian gong that comes in. And I'm like, my God. Oh God. What are we doing here, guys? It's so uncomfortable. So, yeah, I we've definitely stumbled throughout film before, and this one is just fine for what it is. Would I recommend it? Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe I'm a nice critic, but I did get into this because I liked film, and at the end of the day, I don't think this is bad. I don't think it's a film that people wouldn't want to watch. I think if you came here, you have the vibe, you know what kind of film this is. And if you're willing to watch it on Tubi with all commercials in between it, God love you. You know, I I hope it's available like outside of Tubi, because my advice to you would be it's not really worth the commercials. So it's not that good. But I don't but plenty of Tubi movies are available like on video on demand. So I'm hoping it's available somewhere else, and that if you really are that invested, that you can catch it somewhere where you can do the ad-free watch without the so I would use more ads if we could choose them. Like if we could subscribe to which kind of ads we wanted, yeah, I'd be all over that. But I'm tired of just things that I'm never gonna buy in the middle of commercials. It's just such a waste of time. So, what do we do with this? How to lose a popularity contest. I like the throwback nature of it. I kind of was thinking the whole time I was watching it, like all of the generations of people who could do this. Even the stuff in the 2000s, like the Duff, you know? Um, it's just more and more we have been afraid to make jokes, or we felt like the film has to exist solely for representational purposes. And these kinds of teen films kind of get lost. We end up with series. We have plenty of teen series now all over the place, like we used to back in the day with the WB and then the CW. You know, everywhere you turn, stumble into a Ginny in Georgia, Somewhere I Turned Pretty, We Were Liars. You know, I mean, there's just teen shows all over the place. But just a calm teen movie that would have been like PG-13 ish back in the day. I think PG-13, or at least cut to be PG-13. I don't know what this is rated, but it's not pervasively raunchy. So, but I didn't track like F bombs. You know what I'm saying? The old school days of, did you say fuck twice? Oh God, that's an R rating. All of my reviews would be R rated. All right. Yeah. It's a 6.4 out of 10. I'm gonna go fresh on this. I enjoyed it. I don't usually enjoy everything that's on Tubi, but this is worth it. This is worth the time if you are into this genre. If you're not into this genre, this is not breaking new ground. It's not like one of those like generational defining teen movies that you feel like you have to see if you're not a fan of teen movies, like Mean Girls, right? Where you feel like, oh, I have to watch The Breakfast Club. I have to watch Mean Girls. Like these films that sort of hold up the whole genre. It's not that, but it is perfectly watchable in the vein of a whole bunch of other films that we used to get that fell right under the top tier. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.